Hi guys, welcome back. So England do it 39-10. They're through to the quarterfinals. Whether they're first or second, I don't know yet. They've got to play France. And the game was effectively over with that red card for sure. But England, I think, were good value for the win. They did look the better side. But yeah, red card, big factor. So I'm going to try and strike a balance between saying what happened in the game and giving my thoughts in general. So let me know on the balance of that, how I go. But first off the bat, Argentina not picking Sanchez at 10, in hindsight looks like a mistake, but they went for a clear tactic. They go for kicking, and England, interestingly, go extremely away from kicking and look to run Argentina off their feet. So you've got this real juxtapose of tactics there, and in the end, clearly it worked for England, but like I said, hard to tell a little bit when there's only 14 players for Argentina. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the game. So Argentina nearly score 4 minutes in, and May's pace saves the day. Argentina actually start this game pretty well. England give away a series of penalties and kind of get away with going down 3-0 rather than going down a try. And then it becomes apparent from then on that England are desperate to keep the ball in play and play high tempo and absolutely exhaust these big Argentinian forwards. And it works. They get a big maul in the end, penalty advantage. Ford very nicely creates a 2-on-2 into a 2-on-1, which he's been doing so well. Try scored. 5-3. Farrell starts his series of terrible kicks and misses. So only 5-3. England actually make a strike against the head, which is quite significant because you don't tend to see that. And England's scrum was on top all game, although obviously it was down, the pack was down to 7 for Argentina for most of it. But that was quite an interesting one against the head. There was a penalty and a fight first of a number of scuffles. It was a bit bad-tempered, to be honest. There were loads of knock-ons already, and I think that's just something we have to expect in this World Cup. And it's so greasy and sweaty. It's a little bit of a shame in some ways, but teams are going to have to adapt. And I made a note that it just makes the scrum even more important. There's going to be more knock-ons and more scrums. And England scrum is looking good, to be fair. Marler had a great game. He looked good around the pitch and scrummaging, which is good to see. He hobbled off with an ankle injury, so I hope that's not too bad. Although we did see the return of Mako, and at least he looked fit. If, he did give away a scrum penalty first scrum, so, Anyway, at least he's back fit. Then we have the massive head tackle from the Argentinian second row, I believe. Tackle technique, like arms came round, but he was going really high, big shoulder onto the head. Pretty easy decision for Nigel Owens in the end. And I'm just glad Farrell's got a real solid chin, to be honest, because he's taken a few. Maybe that's why he carried on missing the kicks, I don't know. He missed that penalty, so it stays at 5-3. So after they go down to 14 men, actually Manu Tuilagi tackles a player in the air, gives away a penalty, but he's actually quite lucky, because if that player had tipped over in the air and landed on his shoulder or neck or head, he could have been red carded as well. But luckily there was no danger, so it was just a penalty, so people have to be careful with their tackle techniques. And England continue with this theme of trying to run Argentina off their feet, and it's certainly working, as in it's exhausting Argentina. They're making good ground. The Ford Farrell playmaker access is working very well, although I'll come on to that midfield again. But, with the conditions, they tend to spill the ball. The likes of Buffelli got this huge boot on them, and they go back 50 metres and start again. So, it's getting a little bit, stop-start, not a lot's happening. England are trying to move the ball. Anyway. On 33 minutes, then it kind of breaks open. Ford and Farrell again combining, moving the ball all the way to the left, all the way to the right, plus they're going forward, get 5 metres out, and eventually Daly gets the ball a one-on-one really, and beats his man and scores. So Daly had a good game, really good game, good under the high ball, although he wasn't under a huge amount of pressure, and he counter-attacks really well. And something I made a note of it is that, counter-attacking 15s are very much in vogue. We see it with Daly, Bowden Barrett, Villy LaRue. You know, these traditional 15s are kind of losing out a little bit to these counter-attacking 15s. Anyway, there we go. Just another note, Curry took a lot of line-out ball in this game as well. They're really trying to use him as a line-out option. You know, Curry's such a key guy for them. He's playing at 6 to start with, then he moved to 8 when Billy had to go off. But we'll come to that. But then we go, yes, they're on the line again, phases after phases, and Youngs actually scores. Eventually, gap opens up, it goes through, good try, and no one's really expecting it because Youngs hasn't made that kind of break for ages. So that's good for him, although I don't say he looked completely confident in his game yet. Anyway, Farrell misses again, half time it's 15-3. Argentina are 40 men down, they're out on their feet, they are. England have huge ball in play time, and generally the game is over essentially. So at the start of the second half, Billy goes off with a dodgy looking ankle. Doesn't look too bad, but you know, they've only got one big number 8. However, Billy hasn't played amazing in this World Cup, so no time made here, and I think actually just after the game Clive Woodward said the same thing, so you know, other people are seeing it as well. And with Ludlam on, Curry goes to 8, and that back row did really well, very quick, and they made some good carries. So good news, they cope without him, but you know, they're going to need Billy, obviously, as in it. Even if he, dare I say, if he doesn't start, which he will start off the bench, it'd still be amazing impact if they went that way. Anyway, Underhill, Sinclair, Itoje are really putting in some big tackles now. Underhill was good tackling all game. Itoje had a really good game again. He's looking to pick of England's forwards. Sinclair had a good game, although he started to lose his head a little bit towards the end, but he reined it back in. And the quick back row, like I said, Lundlum, Tuolangi, starting to shift now. Things are opening up. The ball goes right again, then all the way to the left again, and Ford goes over. Bonus point try, really nice. Farrell gets a kick. 22-3, game is completely over now. England have got exactly what they need from the game. And it does peter out a little bit and towards the end, like I said. But the tackling has stepped up from England. Argentina are getting knocked backwards. Ford's playing really well in this World Cup. And just noted here, Ford is definitely playing better than Farrell in this World Cup for sure. You know, what do you do? You know, again, when they brought on Slade and then Ford came off, I thought Ford should have stayed on for sure for me. But Farrell's the captain, isn't he? He's a leader. Tricky. The running counter-attacks going really well. Daly and May are doing really well. May had another good game. Yeah, talked about the running 15s. Another penalty, 25-3. And just making a note here, Farrell is very slow. You know, as a 12, he's not a great running threat. It's not his fault. He's at 10 playing 12. But, you know, if you were to rate him on running out of all the 12s in the World Cup, he would be right down the bottom. So it's the compromise you get for playing forward Farrell. Argentina, to be fair to them, raise their game now. They go into a good 10-minute spell from about 55 minutes, exerting loads of pressure, but they can't get any points particularly in that spell until a bit later on. Then Slade goes on, doesn't do really anything in the game, to be honest. Ford comes off, like I said, instead of Farrell, and Noel comes on, and he makes an impact later on. Argentina continue to press. The English defence are looking a bit tired, and they do get their rewards with a lovely first phase move. So that's the one highlight for Argentina. It's a lovely try. Moroni, I think, goes over. 25-10. You know, the game is over. They're not coming back, but they get something there for a good spell of pressure. So fair play to them. You know, they'll be going away thinking what could have been, what would have happened if 15 men had stayed on the pitch. I still think England would have won, but you know, they got something. Then we have Noel scoring a wonder try, really. No space up the right, steps inside, bumps a man with good strength, and then sprints round the side to the right in the corner. That's a really good finish. Fair play to him. Come back with a bang, 25-10. And I'm debating now, I'm writing down what's England's best midfield. We'll come to that. And then right at the end, big maul try, everyone piles in pretty much, puts a gloss on the scoreline. Another fight breaks out at the end because it's been a bit bad-tempered. 39-10, big win, England move on, Argentina out, game is over. So yeah, like I said, England were value for the win. Argentina will be pretty distraught with the red, but they've only got themselves to blame. They weren't good enough to go through from what we've seen in this World Cup anyway. So, midfield question. I really want to see Manu Tuilagi 12 and Joseph 13 in the France game. I prefer Manu at 13, but the running threat of Farrell is almost non-existent. What do you do? I don't know. I'd like to see either a Farrell Manu Joseph or a Ford Manu Joseph and see how it goes, because I am a little worried that to win a World Cup, is that enough threat in the midfield? Passing, kicking wise, obviously fantastic. A big plus for me was when Ludlam came on. I didn't see any drop in performance. He was amazing. Underhill and Curry were all excellent. Sure, they're smaller when they take Billy off, but they've really stepped up. Pressure on Wilson now completely. Is Wilson going down to 5th choice back row? And the back three looked very stacked with Daly, May and Watson all looking good. Null coming back with a bang. We've still got Thock and Seeger there. And, could they kind of sub in McConaughey for someone else? No offence to him, but they don't need him now with all those back three. Maku's back fit. Marla looked good, although he came off with an injury, and Billy's ankle hopefully will be okay. Maybe he needs a rest in this heat anyway, because he's looking a little drained. So there we go. England win, job done. That's my assessment of the players. Tell me what you guys think, and until next time, I will see you later.